Hey guys, how you doing? This is Doug Plumatel, the creator of Scared Stiff, and today is the end of an era for the show. I'm standing in front of this house, as you see right here. This house was actually the location we used for many of our movies: Tiny's Halloween, Alternative Medicine, Curse of the Scarecrow, and a few others. And the house has been sold, and in 2 days it's going to be owned by someone else and will no longer be able to shoot here. So it's a sad day, end of an era, and I thought I would give you a little tour so you can see kind of the location that we've used in previous episodes. This here is the front door that you may recognize from the first Tiny's Halloween. This is actually the opening shot, the tracking shot walking up to the door. And giving away a little magic of our movie making. I try not to do that too much, try to keep the magic intact, but what the heck. Just around the back of the house was actually what we use as Dara's house in Tiny's Halloween. So it was supposed to be another house, was actually only about 50 feet away. Here is the little cottage that you guys might have recognized from Alone, where all the rednecks were standing in front of with shotguns. And as you can see, it was right next to the house, same property, right in the backyard. But you would never know due to the magic of movie making. Right over here is where we shot the opening for Tiny's Halloween 2, where Tiny picks up the pumpkin that he just carved. One of our latest movies, tentatively titled Into the Woods, was shot in this spot. You can see where the house was. And just a couple hundred feet over is where we shot the episode of Into the Woods. So the kitchen that you might recognize from Curse of the Scarecrow. This is where he finds the blood on the floor. And that's the window that he looks over and sees the Scarecrow standing outside of. This room you may recognize from, again, Curse of the Scarecrow. This is the shot we did from above of the guy walking around checking out the house. As you can see, it's a lot emptier now. This room that we're entering was the room from Alternative Medicine. This is where the bed was. As you can see, the marks on the ground. This is where our voodoo priestess sat as she cured the man and took the cancer out of his body. We had all these candles all over the room to make it look eerie, although most of them didn't show up on camera, but yep, this was the spot. So that's it for our tour. We spent a lot of time here, many hours shooting. A lot of these episodes, we were here for several days shooting. I know Curse of the Scarecrow, we shot for over 2 years on and off. So that was pretty much all done here. And funny story is, we shot Alone, the outside, the ending of Alone we shot out in front of the cottage we saw earlier. And, you know, the house is way up in North Stamford. It's very few cars going by, not very many people, no noises. So it was perfect to shoot a zombie apocalypse scene at. But the funny thing is, we shot that a couple days after Halloween, and we actually had a really early snowstorm that year. So a lot of trees came down and the power was out. So here we are trying to shoot a post-apocalyptic scene with a bunch of survivors, and there's chainsaws that we're working on the power lines. And it's just so much noise going on, so we end up having to do ADR for the entire ending scene in Alone. So, but other than that, it's a great spot to shoot. It's an old home from mid-1800s, and we'll miss it. It was a valuable piece for the show. It was a great location to have, and we're lucky to have it. So, take care, house. On to the next location.